Most creators stay stuck at a few hundred views, and it's usually not because they make bad videos. It's because they never set themselves up for success before they ever hit publish. There are a few principles you need to understand before you create your first piece of content, and almost nobody talks about them. I say this because 2.5 years ago, I started creating content with no audience and no idea what actually made videos take off. After months of spinning my wheels, everything changed when I discovered the 3 principles I'm about to share with you. So before you ever post your first piece of content, the first step is understand your marketing. You need to know exactly who you're talking to. If you don't, you'll never know what actually works. Every decision after that depends on it. Your topics, your hooks, even the words you choose. Every niche has a ceiling. Think of it like the size of the pond you're fishing in. Some ponds have millions of people interested in that topic. Others only have a few thousand. And no amount of hard work will make a small pond bigger. You can be the best creator in a niche that nobody is watching and still struggle to find a few hundred views. That's why so many creators feel like the results are random. One video takes off, the next one dies. They can't figure out the pattern. Usually, the pattern isn't the content, it's the pond they're fishing in. Before you do anything else, research your niche and see what's already out there. Are there creators in your space getting great results? Or is everyone sitting at just a few thousand views? If nobody in your niche is getting views, there's a good chance you won't either. But if there are successful creators serving the audience you want to reach, study them. Look at what they're doing well, what could be improved, and how you can differentiate yourself. And here's something most people overlook. A big pond with 50 sharks can be harder to break into than a smaller pond where nobody is serving the audience well. So ask yourself, what is everyone missing? Maybe everyone is talking to advanced users and nobody is helping the beginners. Maybe they're all educational, but nobody is entertaining. Maybe they're all saying the same thing in the same way. That gap is your opportunity. It's your unique angle and the reason someone should watch you instead of everyone else. Take a look at your favorite creator. Today, they may dominate an entire niche, but there's a very good chance they didn't start there. Most of them built an audience around one specific topic, one audience, or one submarket before they expanded. They became known for one thing before trying to become known for everything. That's one of the biggest mistakes most beginners make. They try to talk to everyone before they've become known by anyone. Dominate a sub-niche first. Expansion comes later. And once you understand your market and you've found your unique angle, let's talk about the ideas you choose. Because just like there are different sized ponds for every niche, there are different sized opportunities for every topic you create. Another very common mistake I see creators make is trying to invent ideas from scratch. Look, I'm not saying never do this, but don't do it at the start. And sometimes it doesn't work, but it's called split testing. You almost never need to invent viral ideas. The best ideas are already out there. Your job is to recognize them, understand why they worked, and adapt them to your audience. Start by finding the videos that dramatically outperformed the rest of the creator's channel. Go to any creator in your niche and look at their view counts. Most of their videos will perform within a similar range. That's their baseline. Then look for the videos that blew far past it. There are also free tools that can help you find these outliers, but you can also do it by yourself in about 10 minutes, just by scrolling through a channel and comparing the view counts. Once you identify an outlier, don't copy the video. Figure out why it worked. It usually isn't the topic or just the thumbnail. It's a combination of the title, hook, pacing, timing, storytelling, and the value the video delivered. Your job is to identify those patterns so you can adapt them to your own content. Being first also matters. If you copy what's already trending in your own niche, you're just adding more supply to an already crowded market. But if you find a proven concept from another niche and adapt it for your audience before anyone else does, you've created demand with very little competition. So don't just copy creators. Find an outlier, break down why it worked, then rebuild the idea through your own voice, your niche, and your unique angle. Novelty is part of what makes content successful, but it shouldn't be the foundation of every video. The best creators combine proven formats with proven topics while adding a fresh perspective. That's what gives people people something familiar enough to click on, but different enough to remember. Before we get into step 3, let me tell you something. Everything I've shared with you so far, I've learned the hard way. I've spent months posting videos that barely got any views, constantly wondered why one video worked while the next one completely flopped. Looking back, I am so glad that I invested $5,000 to start learning how to do short form content. After I mastered that, I actually invested $2,500 into long form content. Instead of spending months figuring it out all through trial and error, I skipped the line. Instead of waiting 2 years to figure it out, I got it figured out in 2 months. And that's usually what coaching is. You can do it on your own. You can look it up, you can figure it out, you can find all these stuff by yourself. But it will usually take a year, 2 years, trial and error. And so instead of taking the 2 years, you now fast forward to 2 months having coaching. And that's exactly why I created Content Cash Flow. Inside, I teach the complete content system I wish someone had showed me from the very beginning. Again, I had to learn shorts, then I had to learn long form, and now I've put them all together in one. From finding ideas that already have demand, to writing hooks people can't scroll past, to turning your content into a real business. So if you'd rather learn from someone who's already made the mistakes, and instead of repeating them yourself, check out the link in the description. I'd love to help you grow. And I'll say one more thing before I continue. I mentioned about $7,500 I invested in myself. I didn't stop there. I'm actually in a $20,000 mastermind right now. So that's now $27,500. That doesn't count others I've done. Why am I saying this? Because it's important to invest in yourself. It's important to understand these principles and take the shortcut, really. Instead of waiting years, you can have coaching and help to get it done in months. So if you followed the previous steps, you'll get more people to click on your content. But getting the click is only half the battle. Now you have to deliver on the promise you made. Before you write a single word, lock in 3 things first: your title, your thumbnail, and your hook. Those 3 things are the promise your script has to keep. If your packaging promises one thing, but your video delivers something else, people leave. That mismatch is one of the biggest reasons good content underperforms, and it's one of the reasons YouTube stops pushing it. If you say one thing on your thumbnail, your title, and talk about something completely, YouTube doesn't even push it anymore. So let's talk about the most important part, the hook. One of the biggest mistakes creators make is writing the entire script first and trying to come up with a hook afterwards. It should be the opposite. Your hook determines whether people watch the rest of your video or not. Whether you're making a 30-second short or a 30-minute YouTube video, the opening seconds matter more than anything else. Every great hook has 3 parts. Once you understand this framework, you'll start seeing it everywhere in everyone's content. The first part is the context lean. In the first sentence or 2, you need to make it immediately clear what the video is about while giving viewers a reason to lean in. That could be a problem they already have, a question they're asking, or a statement that's impossible to ignore. The second part is the scroll stop. This is where you interrupt their expectations. Usually it's a single sentence that introduces a twist. Words like but, however, or instead naturally create that shift. It makes the viewer pause just long enough for the third part. The third part is the contrarian snapback. And maybe you've never heard that before. Let me explain. This is where you take the viewer in the opposite direction from where they expected the video to go. The bigger the contrast, the stronger the curiosity. I want you to think of it like driving down a highway. First, you get them moving in one direction, then you slam on the brakes. Then you send them somewhere completely unexpected. That's what creates curiosity. And the stronger that curiosity, the more likely they are to keep watching. Also, by the way, if you'd like the 50 proven hook examples built on this exact framework, I left a free guide in the description below. Once you have written your hook, the next thing to define is your payoff. What's the one thing someone should walk away with after watching your video? Every successful video is built around 4 questions. What is the goal? Why does that goal matter? What's stopping people from achieving it? And what happens if they never solve that problem? When those 4 things are clear, people stay engaged. When they're missing, viewers leave without even realizing why. Before you write your script, answer those 4 questions. Everything else in your video should support them, and that's the backbone of your content. Here's an advanced technique. Once you've introduced the payoff, your job isn't finished. You have to keep reminding viewers why they're watching. If you're making long-form videos, most viewers forget the original promise after a few minutes. A quick reminder around the 2-minute mark, then around the 5, 9, 15 helps pull people back into the story. The longer the video gets, the farther apart those reminders can be. Another thing, always build from simple to complex. Start with the easiest concept, then gradually build toward the biggest insight. Every section should naturally prepare the viewer for the next one. That progression makes people feel like they're making progress, and that's what keeps them watching. Now that we've covered ideas and scripting, let's talk about 2 things that multiplied my results without requiring much more work. The first tip is simple: post your content everywhere. In 2026, there's very little reason to create content for only one platform. Modern AI tools make it incredibly easy to adapt your videos for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, LinkedIn, and more. If you have a little extra budget, hire an editor to turn your long-form videos into shorts. You've already done the hard work of creating the content. Keeping it on one platform is leaving views, leads, and revenue on the table. Personally, I use Metricool. It lets me schedule everything in just a few minutes. The second tip is learning how to use AI the right way. Most people use AI to write captions or brainstorm titles. That's helpful, but you're just barely scratching the surface. Find the best creators in your niche. Download transcripts from their best content. Then use those transcripts as the knowledge base for a custom AI. Now you've built an AI that's been trained on how that expert thinks. It understands their framework, their storytelling, their hooks, and how they structure ideas. Now every time you write a script, ask that AI for feedback. Ask it how to strengthen your hook. Ask it where people might lose interest in your video, and ask it how to make your title more compelling. Instead of guessing whether your content is good enough, you're getting feedback built from some of the best minds in your industry. And don't stop with one, build multiple AIs. One trained on a copywriter, one trained on a content strategist, one trained on your favorite storyteller. Now you've built your own personal team of experts that can help improve every piece of content you create. If you apply what I shared in this video, you'll probably realize your content was never being held back by your camera, your editing, or your equipment. It was the strategy behind it. Success starts with understanding your market, knowing exactly who you're creating it for, choosing ideas that already have demand, and delivering them in a way people actually want to watch. When you master those fundamentals, content creation stops feeling like guesswork and starts becoming predictable. If you'd like to speed up that process like I've talked about earlier in this video, that's why I created Content Cash Flow. I teach people how to do this, the same framework I use to grow from 0 to millions of monthly views and build a full-time business through content. In 2026, we're on track to hit 1 billion views. I'll show you how to find winning ideas, write hooks that grab attention, create videos people actually finish watching, and turn your content into a real business. If you're ready to stop hoping your next video takes off and start creating with a proven system behind every piece of content, check out the link in the description. I'd love to help you get there. Remember, the opportunity has never been bigger. The creators who succeed over the next few years won't be the ones who get lucky, they'll be the ones who build a system. Stay consistent and keep improving. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you in the next one.